Hello guys and welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about Project Eternity, which is a new Kickstarter project. In fact, it was not that new. It's been on Kickstarter since the 14th of September, and I've been keeping an eye on it ever since, well, it just exploded all over my Twitter feed over a week ago. In fact, it was almost funded completely within the first 24 hours, which is quite something given that the goal of the Kickstarter project is $1.1 million. However, it has been funded, and as of right now, which is at 1400 GMT on the 23rd of September 2012, it is at 1.9 million, essentially, with essentially 45,000 backers. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention, apart from its phenomenal start, it's one of a handful of very, very promising games that have had a Kickstarter project. Project Eternity is run by Obsidian Entertainment. Now, for those of you who don't know, Obsidian Entertainment are responsible for the making of some of the very best RPGs that there ever were. In fact, if you haven't heard of Obsidian, then you most certainly will have heard of their games, which are outstanding, and which raises a few points actually to me. Obsidian is not the first. In fact, Obsidian is actually working with inXile on another project, which is Wasteland 2, which actually, incidentally, was another Kickstarter project that was funded in April time. However, one thing that I wanted to raise, just sort of side point, is that this sort of thing here with large development houses producing games that people want, but not going through the traditional publisher route. Perhaps it's probably for the better that this seems to be a trend that more and more companies are going towards. And to be honest, if publishers have been standing between us, the consumers and the gamers, and the developers of the games that we really want to play, then I think it's basically saying good riddance to them. And to be honest, the larger publishers generally are not producing the quality of games that we once had 10, 15 years ago. Developers that once used to produce expertly crafted content, such as BioWare, for instance, sort of have fallen foul, I feel, of the big publishers. Oh, well, I mean, EA. The thing is about big publishers is, for me, I find that they must be trying to milk the development team for as much possible, trying to get the most optimally money-orientated product possible, and I think it just seems that anything, I mean, I'm using EA as a big example, and maybe I'm going on my big anti-EA fanboy rant here, but essentially what I'm trying to get at is that when you look at the companies that have been bought up by EA, and look at the quality of games that they once produced, and look what they're producing now, I'm thinking about Maxis, I'm thinking about BioWare, the quality of the stuff, it's almost as if it was two different companies producing it. You've just got a cheap knockoff versus what you used to have. I think when you just have a relationship between a developer and the consumer or the gamer, you have a direct communication and you don't have to funnel it through and jump through any hoops of the publisher. And I really hope that some of these parasitic companies that serve no purpose other than to make themselves money die, and that the people who make the games that they want to make, and they make high quality games that we will enjoy. And I think a relationship that's directly between the two, between us and the people who make the games, is a much healthier and much better situation than if you stick in a middleman that doesn't really care. That doesn't care. It doesn't care about the product that's being produced, only about how much money it could potentially make. And that's why we'll stick in some dubstep here, and we'll stick in some solar flares there, and we'll stick some zombie apocalypse vampire FPS Xbox only game. Which is frustrating. I think the tide is turning, and essentially with Obsidian doing what they're doing, I can't believe that publishers didn't snap up their offer when they said we're going to make this game, because clearly publishers should know that there is a great desire and a great need amongst gamers to play games such as there used to be there, like Baldur's Gate 2 and Icewind Dale. Anyway, I want to leave the rant there for the moment, although I probably will address this at a later date. However, one thing that I wanted to bring up was actually what the game is about. Project Eternity will be moving away from the sort of traditional theme with high fantasy realm around a more technologically advanced society. The developers have released information on their Kickstarter project, and they basically highlight that there will be very primitive civilizations, but a lot of the larger civilizations will be very advanced, up until the point of having advanced siege weapons and having weapons such as black powder weapons as well. Also having fully articulated oriented armor. The game will have a magical element. In fact, Josh Sawyer, the project director, highlighted some interesting points. Magic is basically orientated around souls, and souls can have different attributes, and people can have multiple souls or strong souls and various other types of souls of older lives and things like that. And it seems very interesting the way that they're going with magic, because with the D&D based games you just have magical powers and you can just cast magic. However, with this game it seems like there's a little bit more of a grounding in something a little bit more tangible that you could point to and say, well, this person is magical because they have a strong soul, for instance. It'll be very interesting to see how this game develops and what more information comes out about it. I think it'll be something that I'll definitely be keeping my eye on, and when we find out more information about it, I'll definitely point you in the direction. If you haven't already checked it out, I'll leave a link in the description bar to the Kickstarter project. As of now, it's got 23 days to go still, so you've still got plenty of time to put some money towards it if you want to be involved. Although one thing I would say to you is that I would definitely recommend that you at least check it out if you're interested in RPGs, because these guys are basically the granddaddies of the modern day RPG. If they're producing something now, I'm very, very excited personally about what the end product will be. That is enough for today, but we'll come back to you with more information when we have it. Until then though, guys, stay safe, take care of yourself, and goodbye.